Hey everyone, today is Tuesday, April 29th. Oh wow. I know each week I come on here and I'm like, this is not going to be a long video, and then it turns into like a 50-minute video. But today it's really not going to be long because I have an eye doctor appointment where they're going to blur my eyes, of course. And then I've got something else going on. So this really will not be a long video. But there's two reasons I wanted to come on here today. The first one was go Canada. You did it. Yes. And I knew you would. That's one of the predictions I had made not too long ago when someone from Canada asked me to make a prediction about the Canadian election. And I said that I actually thought Carney would still win, but not only did I see him winning, I saw an expansion of the liberal side of things. I don't know too much about Canadian politics, but they were just showing me an expansion of the liberal party, I guess. Um, and that happened exactly as they gave it to me. Um, the beautiful thing about this is that, and we have Trump to thank for it, so we need to send him a big thank you in turning basically not only Canadians in the United States, but the rest of the world against fascism. And um, we're going to see more and more of that. We have been seeing some of it in some of these countries, and that's just going to continue. The world is going to wake up. The world, our world, is actually headed for a much better time. We have to get through this. We have to really grind out um, the dictatorships, fascism, um, the authoritarianism, the greed, the oligarchy. We have to grind those out. And that's what is going on in the world now. And something else I wanted to mention, this tariff thing is actually, believe it or not, in divine order. And I want to tell you why. It has caused the world to seek different routes, different trade routes, different friendships, different connections, okay? And United States has dominated. And although I'm an American and I love my country dearly, I told you guys last week, Spirit doesn't recognize any borders. And so by the United States trying to control that, that is not in divine order. And so these new form friendships, these new form trade initiatives countries are making with each other, they need to happen and they need to develop. We will be back in the worldwide trade market. So not to worry, not to worry. But Don the Khan's idiotic actions actually spurred something that needed to happen um, for the entire world. Okay, it needs to be open. We need to be a world without borders, literally. Okay, and that's just what's happening. So it's painful for us, and it will be for a little while. However, we will emerge back into the world market. We'll be strong again. Our economy will flourish again. And I see that as like a bright light. Like it will happen exactly when I haven't fine tuned yet. So please don't ask me in the comments. Leave 100 comments. Well, when do you see this happening? that will be fine tuned soon, okay? But it's going to happen, and the this isolation that we're feeling now, that will eventually end also, and our allies, our former allies, will trust us again. But for right now, it's his idiotic actions are doing what they're supposed to do. Okay, so I just wanted to come on here and say that again. Thank you, Canadians, for doing the right thing, saying no to fascism, because Polyev is just basically a mini Trump. He's I did eventually look into him, and he's right along that our Republican type of leader. He's so. Thank you, thank you, thank you. There was another major prediction I made about China. It was twofold. I said that something that China would do would affect the world, um, and that, of course, and it would be a good thing. That, of course, was the revelation of all these high price luxury items we found out are just pennies on the dollar to make, and that's a good thing. We were paying inflated prices for what? Unnecessary. But the second part of that prediction was I predicted some type of white structure, um, that would be revealed by China. And just last week, they released the 10G network. And one of the main towers for that network is a white sort of dome, white tower dome. Um, and everyone can Google that. It's out there, so you can check for yourself. So that was another prediction that came true. Um, I also predicted about the a major power outage, and that, of course, you guys know happened in France, Portugal, and Spain. I said that it wouldn't last long, but it would be major. It's not. It would not be worldwide. Fortunately, most of Portugal, Spain, and France did get their power back, but there are many, still thousands that are still without power, but they're going to be getting that back. During that period of time, they weren't able to use any credit cards or debit cards, they had to use cash. I also feel that will come here to the United States at some point, um, but in segregated areas. It won't be national. Um, I just see that still coming for us, in some capacity. Please continue to just put aside that little pocket of money and hold on to it. You will need it, whether it's for the power outage or something else, but you will need it. Um, Not a huge amount of cash, but just enough cash to survive on for a few days. So still save that. Um, oh, I told you guys, I don't know, 3 videos back, Trump's approval ratings, they were lying about them. They're super low, and they're not telling the truth about his approval ratings. Well, we found out recently that even Fox News can't lie about how low they are. They are low, super low, lower than even they're saying now. But I guess they were keeping them at a certain point to prop him up. They're so low they won't be able to hide him anymore. So anyway, 12 Republicans sent a letter to Mike Johnson. These are 12 Republicans, and say that they are opposing Medicaid cuts, um, they have too many constituents that are on Medicaid, and they're also opposing other cuts that Johnson wants to make. And they're basically saying in this letter, look, we're Republican, and they still support Trump basically, but what they're saying basically is we're not going to be probably supporting any cuts to the social safety network. Okay, so change the bill, do something different, do something else, whatever. Here's a thought. I don't know. How about we just scrap giving more tax cuts to billionaires? How about we do that? You know, I love seeing the Republicans now at the town halls asking their politicians, why do we need more tax cuts for the billionaires? Like, tax the rich. They're even screaming, tax the rich, tax the rich. So, once again, I've told you guys that the enemy of our enemy will become our friend, and eventually we'll be voting as one almost block. Okay? Because many Republicans are now waking up to realize that what Democrats have been and liberals have been advocating for benefits everyone. You're not owning the libs by screwing yourself. You're just screwing yourself. So that's coming. Yes, it's probably not coming quick enough for most people, but it's coming. All this stuff is just unfolding the way it needs to unfold. Okay? So, let's see. Oh, they had given me a vision about Hegseth, that it would take a little bit more, but eventually he would be gone. He would just vanish. And it's going to be pretty ugly when he does, but it's not yet. It's not yet, but it's coming. So he'll be out. He will be out. And I just see a gentleman taking his place that has glasses. Um, Another thing I wanted to mention, because enough about him, um, with everyone, and I will be putting out a video real soon because I want to start focusing on the power of love. And I want to preface those upcoming talks with, we have been basically taught as a society, right, that anything that we can't touch, feel, or see doesn't exist, right? Everyone wants proof, etc. And we have basically, as a society, ignored the power of love and what love truly is. Love is the pulse that flows through everything. And it's so important now that we become reacquainted with that power, because it is not a corny or an abstract or some airy fairy idea or concept. Love is very real and very concrete, even though we may not see it with our view. And I want to delve into that even more, because not only can it make our lives, the understanding of love and how it works in our lives and how it moves through our lives, can make things much more harmonious for us, and can make things a lot easier for us. Our purpose, our mission for coming here, no matter what it is, no matter what agenda we decided on coming here, um, no matter what contract we signed on coming here, right? Um, the basis behind all of that is to put more of our spiritual understanding into play while we're here in this realm, in this 3D world. Okay? And we have to start understanding as a society that we're not disconnected from love ever. We're not separate from it ever. We can weave it into our lives in so many different ways. Okay? And when we do that, and when we have a better understanding of how love works and functions, okay, even the horrific or horrible parts that we think are horrible parts of our lives turn out to be not so horrible and not so horrific. And we can gain a better understanding of them. And in some cases, our understanding of love and the power and the function of love exempts us from certain things. I have told you guys a billion times, a little exaggeration, the universe is never cruel. Once you get what you're supposed to get and understand, the particular hardship dissolves, okay? And so, in many cases, if we get the understanding that we need to get, we kind of avert some of those hardships. Not all of them, but some of them we do. So, the power of love is prevalent. It exists. Whether you believe in it or not has nothing to do with religion, okay? Or worship or anything like that. It is recognizing the sustaining energy that flows throughout all existence. All existence. It's there, it's palpable, and it can be utilized. Love is completely pure, harmonious, and perfect. And you know, I I gotta show this off. I bought this weekend at a gem show, and because you know what, I love my cube, and I've been looking for this, and it became available, and so this I probably will use another hundreds and hundreds of times throughout my videos, but it is so indicative to me of how we view things versus what really is. And if you look on here, there's so many different little, they're little triangles, but they're little facets of this prism, right? Okay, this crystal ball prism. But even though there's different facets indicating different things that I may see and you may see and so may see, it still belongs to one ball, right? One ball. So it's like the totality of existence, okay, is sustained and maintained by love. And we all have our different ideas of what love is, and what we see about love, and what we experience about love. But if you can widen your focus and widen your view, right, to see more of it and more of it, That is where the true happiness comes in. And I really want to um, start getting into that more and more, even if little drips of it in each video, because honestly, I'm being led to do that. Okay, I really am. They have their way with me, and I guess that's okay. They know way better than me. And by the way, when I talk about my recaps on predictions, um, I would love to be able to say those are mine, but most of them are not. They're given to me. They are given to me by entities that don't want, don't care, and don't need the praise or the "hey, you were right" type thing. It's from them. Seriously, they're giving me information, and so I thank them, um, and I appreciate their efforts in giving us information at times on a whole different things, not only the predictions, but just on life and, helping us to navigate things a lot more smoothly. All right. So, anyway, I am going to get off now. I told you to be short. It's probably the only time I told the truth about that. But I need to get to this appointment. And take care, everyone. I will probably come out really soon this week. I'm thinking Thursday, maybe Friday, with a longer video as I go into more things. But once again, go Canada. Thank you. Um, we really appreciate you because, believe it or not, even though it's not our country, many of us feel very connected to you. And we just recognize that, we really are like, I don't know, cousins, And so, and to everyone that's Canadian that watches this, please let me know that, you're there. I would love that. That would tickle me, and that you're happy. All right, take care, everyone, until we meet again.